So when we are talking ascension of the earth, transition into the fifth dimension from the third dimension, so these are big things. So my view of it is that it cannot be really predicted with the help of modern science today, or the science that we know. um, so which is where I think, we should be seeking towards more spiritual help, which is available. They are pushing us, actually. They are guiding us in so many different ways. Anyone who's been doing meditation, they will know, or they will be at least in the circle of people who have had some signals, or some hints, some sort of intuition. Now, in this case, absolutely, the author had wonderful signals coming through, and a lot of readings happening as well. So, um, yeah, that's the main point I wanted to make about what modern science could do versus the spiritual guidance. Modern science is needed for our physical day-to-day living, no doubt, but for bigger events like this, certainly more spiritual help. Nobody could predict COVID, from a think tank, or a modern businesses and all that. No one was able to do that, right? Okay, so we shall look at now the other really important point I wanted to make on this one was um, about Kumeka. Kumeka is the author's spiritual guide. Now, I just made a note to myself to read some points directly from the book, just to give you a flavor of how Kumeka initially connected to the author, and then how the communication went on. Yeah, this wouldn't take long, but just a quick read about it. Okay, so the author says, the author got into a spiritual onset maybe 40 years ago or so. Okay, she says in her own words, a few years later, my guide Kumeka connected with me, and I have worked with him ever since. Okay. Now, she also says Kumeka and her, they both of them, they come from the same planet system. So there is already, we've talked about soul tribes in so many other sessions. It's all linking together, so nothing new there. Yeah. But the interesting point is, she says, Kumeka has never been incarnated, but I have incarnated in so many lifetimes. This is the author talking about herself. And she says, Kumeka had to find her in each lifetime. That's because by default, when the author took a new lifetime, her guide was not able to instantly find. But only when she was able to bring her own energies to a certain level, that's when she became visible to Kumeka. So she had to work on her own energies, her own light, if you like, to be shown, and only then Kumeka was able to find and then tap into her, and pass on signals and information. So there is a really hard job, even for the spiritual master, like Kumeka, to find. So we do need to evolve ourselves. We do need to increase our vibration and energies. So yeah, and which is what we are doing through meditation. So we're on the right track there, masters. Now the slightly funny bit about the communication is that because Kumeka doesn't have a physical body, he's a very, very hard taskmaster, as in author's words. So she says, he does not realize I need a rest after flying halfway around the world and giving lectures every day on a tour. And yeah, so what she says is, if he thinks I'm not listening to him carefully enough, or he really wants to gain my attention, he tweaks my physical body. For a horrible 6 months, he gave me excruciating sciatica whenever he wanted to speak to me. So that was his way of grabbing Diana's attention by giving her a sciatica pain. And she did not know that. And after she knew, she was not very happy. And this happened for about 6 months. And that limited her driving abilities for a good while. Now, this is all about working with angels and working with spirit guides. We are not on the same plane always, so there will be a bit of a rough patch. There may be, right? It doesn't always need to be. So after that point, then the author agreed to agreed for a sensible physical stimulation to be able to listen to the spirit guide whenever they want her to listen to. Okay, so they agreed that they agreed that Kumeka will buzz in her left ear, um, and that'll be the signal. So whatever the author is doing at the time, then she would instantly tune into that space to be able to receive signals directly from Kumeka. Okay, so that's it's meant to be slightly light-hearted. Anyways, the whole communication, which certainly made me laugh. But yeah, I do appreciate the hard work that goes on. 6 months of having a pain of this kind, which is not easy to manage. Okay, so we shall cover some background information before we go into all the forecast and all those things. Okay, all right. So there is a phenomenal help available from the from Universal Masters, Astral Masters, whatever you call divine energies, gods, anybody. Okay? So now there are 33 cosmic portals opening up in the across the world. Anyone with a little bit of a spiritual eye, you will not be surprised that India has one. Egypt also has one. Now the UK also has one in New York. So and the particular one I wanted to focus on is the source of divine river Ganga. So sitting right in the Indian subcontinent area. It is one of the most powerful portals. Each of these portals, they're all very powerful. They all have different types of energies. The author has gone into a lot of depth in terms of explaining what each portal will be able to do and all that. We will discuss more in a bit more later. But I also wanted to highlight the point about Bermuda Triangle also having a portal, because people will know Bermuda Triangle has always been special, has always been that a very special thing from a any flights passing above Bermuda Triangle suddenly will get sucked into that, and nobody can trace anything. So has a lot of mythical element to that. And also the point about all these things are spread across quite evenly geographically. So 33 of them. And moving on. So now we do have special chakras. I mean, I say special chakras because these are all related to the fifth dimension. The author calls them fifth dimensional spiritual chakras of the planet. So because there are only 12 of them, I've listed all of them here. Again, anybody with a with a spiritual eye will not be surprised. India has one in Agra. Now again, some of these 12 chakras, I think we can instantly relate to what is a third eye chakra, what is a crown chakra, because we are kind of used to 7 chakra system. But we are talking about the whole earth planet as one being, and then we are talking 12 different chakras within the planet. to help the ascension from the current dimension into fifth. Um, right. So the main point I wanted to highlight was Afghanistan has got a third eye chakra, which is why I've talked about Afghanistan a little bit later. We'll come on to that, the forecast of it. UK has two, for the size of the country. We've got one in London, Earth Star Chakra, and Heart Chakra in Glastonbury. I'm intrigued to find out more about the whole music festivals that happen at Glastonbury and the Heart Chakra. Is there a link to this? Yeah, I want to find out myself. But having said that, I just want to remind that this book was written in 2011 as well. And in most cases, with all the chakras and portals, the description has been that each one of them is in the process of opening in 2012 or 2014, or something of that sort. So most of them may have opened up at this time. I say that again because globally, I think spirituality is growing, and you can even try and compare the momentum PSSM movement gained as well. It was, I don't think it was this global, but probably with the lockdown, etc. In the last 2-3 years, I think it has gone into phenomenal heights. So in a way, I certainly do believe that a lot of portals have opened, and a lot of chakras are they're performing what they've been tasked to. Okay, so okay, so that's the list of the spiritual chakras, masters. We can look at some of the forecast now slowly. Okay, so just a brief description as to where we are. What is the direction of travel, right? So 2012, the author says I mean, she uses the word as a out breath. 2012. 2012 is the end of a 260,000 year out breath. Yeah, you can say cosmic era as well. Yeah, but that's where the beginning of the ascension journey happened. Now many people will recollect that 2012 was always predicted as the end of it, and all that. But there is so much information coming out in recent days that there were many divine meetings, physical meetings that have happened, and various astral masters have committed to changing that timeline, and they've asked for some opportunities to actually improve the pace of spiritual growth, um, and which is why that 2012 line has been postponed, to deal with that spirituality in a slightly different way. I'm not quoting stuff from the book here, but some of the content that I came across recently. Okay. So 2012 as such has been, I would say, the end of it. The plan to end it has been put to one side, but then it was still a very, very significant time to begin a lot of the ascension journey. Yeah. Okay. So 2012 to 23 is a deep in breath, and then the important bit within that time period is 2017 to 2022. Now, main cleansing of the planet. We all absolutely know what has happened, and what's happening in this time frame. Now, the nature has been controlling a lot of the events. You can't just simply blame China for COVID. The background is a bit more stronger than what we think. Okay, so again, I will come to the point about are these events set in stone? I will talk about them a bit later. So 2023 to 2032, again, this is more of a self-cleansing, self-clearing, and being in tune phase to be ready for the fifth for the beginning of the fifth dimension in 2032. Okay, so any events really, masters. This is all about um, a, a direction of travel really, but it is not set in stone absolutely, because you cannot um, predict um, these things with an absolute accuracy, and I will tell you why in the next slide. So what is a forecast? It is an intimation of the probability based on current consciousness. So back in 2011, whenever the author wrote the book, at that moment, whatever the current consciousness is, the set of events that I've just told, that would have been the most probable set of events. Now the beauty here is that because it is not set in stone, each one of us have a chance to change the direction, to impact the direction more positively. So as we all come together as a group, events can be brought forward, such as ascension. Even ascension can be even brought forward. More and more people becoming more evolved, more and more people meditating, global consciousness improving. So all of these things will absolutely add, which is why I think it's a really good point that it is not set in stone. So each one of us have a role to play in this one. This is not about just simply listening to okay, it's I don't need to do anything about until 2032. That is absolutely not the case. So we all have a role. Otherwise, so if we as global population, if we are not acting, then it's easy for the Mother Earth to take control of the situation, and pandemics, natural calamities, a lot of these things will happen, right? But again, we can control the pace of it, we can control the impact of it as well, right? And PSSM and so many other spiritual communities are doing a great job in this by raising awareness. So some specific forecasts we can take a look at. So Afghanistan, the author did predict that Western troops will be out, but still the main problems will remain. Now the third eye chakra, as I mentioned earlier, that is within Afghanistan, and a lot of the natural calamities such as floods, earthquakes, and huge amounts of snow melting can be seen as a bad thing at a physical level, but at a spiritual level, it is all about cleansing. So wherever you see such events, such uncontrollable events, generally the response is that a lot of spiritual cleansing is happening. The land is taking control of the pace of the events. But every time as global population, we do have the opportunity to impact that. Now again, with the current happenings, I just wanted to talk about Russia as well. So the author says hearts of the politicians closed with the fear of the West, and that is exactly the reason. So the author also says there is a the mountains, and the vast empty lands, they have pure energy, which will help the dark forces, which will help eliminate the dark forces, and the light will be there more or less in the 2032 time frame. Yeah. Okay. So I also did show a portal that was right within Russia as well. So it's what we are seeing as bad, what we are seeing as a negative, all I can say is we cannot judge them harshly. We cannot judge anything harshly. Is all I'm trying to say. We cannot judge any event by saying in a black and white, good or bad. Um, okay, Mexico. Just want to share something about the feeling of unworthiness and guilt, which was one of the reasons why the U.S. resisted them for a very long time. But that'll all change because there's a lot of ancient wisdom within Mexico which needs to come out. Okay. Now, Japan holds a lot of karma from cruelty from times before. So the tsunami was one of the cleansing events. Tsunami, earthquakes, more and more earthquakes will happen. Is the current probability? But again, more people coming together globally and evolving will change those events, or will take a much more of a smoother path. Okay, so we've talked about China and COVID enough, but yeah, but again, this is all massive transformation is all enabled by natural disasters. Now, Saudi Arabia and other oil-rich states. Now, the really interesting point is, the author mentions that oil is needed for the lubrication of the planet. Now, if you take too much oil away, the planet will react to such an event. Yeah. And by cooperating with or by extracting too much oil and consuming oil, possibly many other countries have also contributed to or gained some more karma. So probably, yeah, I thought to myself, maybe electric cars are the way forward. Although that is a path from a climate point of view and all that, but if we are hurting the Mother Earth at a very very deep level, there has to be a slightly different way, more public transport, that type of thing. Okay. Okay, some more forecast, dear friends. So Tibet will eventually be free from China is the main headline there. By 2032, it will be a beacon of light. Now, the important bit is that Tibetans will not hold that light within themselves. They will be absolutely ready to share it with the rest of the world. Many people will know Tibet always held a lot of ancient wisdom, and quite a few significant many masters have either trained there or have originated from there. So there's always a special knowledge coming from that part of the world. The author, I do agree certainly with the author when she says India lost its soul, and it needs to find its spiritual connection again. There has been probably a few hundred years of maybe copying the West a bit too much, and losing that divine connection. There's a lot of fear in the religion also, many religions as well, which is not necessarily helping, but India as a India, like I said earlier, anyone with a spiritual eye cannot ignore the wonderful phenomenal knowledge that is available within India from a spiritual point of view. So the knowledge is all there, the wisdom is all there. I think people need to reconnect, realign themselves, cleanse themselves. That's the main forecast here. I mentioned one of the portals, which is starting at the source of divine river Ganga, will send divine light to 5,000 miles in all directions. Now imagine 5,000 miles in all directions is a lot. It's covering a lot. Now this also was interesting to me because many souls from the Sirius planet system, actually Sirius B, Sirius C, there are many of them. So they have incarnated in the last 30 years, who are all very technically minded. So and again, that is not a surprise to me. Sirius, I think you can associate Sirius with a lot of technology, with a lot of spiritual technology. Um, okay, so moving on. Okay, I clubbed three countries together because they all had very similar, limited karma. Actually, they pretty much dissolved all their karma, and many evolved souls have come together in Finland, Sweden, and Norway. Uh, yeah, so it says transition to 5D will be much more easier than the rest of the world, if you like. Okay, so coming back to the UK, so 2012 Olympics was supposed to bring light again. Just to remind you, this book was written in 2011. Okay, at Star Chakra, as I mentioned, is in London. That was again due to be open. I think it is open now again, because just the pace of our own spiritual momentum, and also many of the spiritual masters helping the world. It does feel like many of these chakras have opened. Okay, because this is the start chakra, it will need to be open first to enable the other chakras. Again, this is probably the mechanics of how the whole chakra system works, but we are talking 12 chakras here, not 7. So many souls from Sirius have taken birth in the recent past. So you know not at a lighter note, but I'm probably very serious here. But it is very much possible a lot of the kids that are born today, in the last 10-15 years, may very well be from Sirius. So that bit I certainly believe in it. Okay. So now the summary. Like I said, events are not written in stone. Group consciousness will help evolve. Will help the evolution. Okay. Again, I said phenomenal support is available, and also fear-based religions will eventually dissolve to give way to true love. The author suggests many things to do. Meditation is certainly one of them. Again, you don't need me to reiterate that again. So be in touch with the nature, and a very specific tip for whoever, if anyone cannot meditate for long, she says walk in the nature for long. And actually, that's how she receives her own signals. She can't meditate for very long, apparently. So she will walk out in the gardens, out in the forest areas, etc. So that's when she receives her own messages. Okay, so that is all I had, masters. I can take some questions. I will certainly welcome all of you to throw in your views, any thoughts, anything you want to share. Okay, I'll stop there. I'll pause there. Thanks.
Yeah, hi. Hello, Master. That's a beautiful presentation and it's very short and precise. And this reminds me of this presentation in the background mine. It's running of Seth wisdom. Seth has all long back has given the same wisdom. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have few questions. Like in one of the slide, you have mentioned that in the UK there is a York place where you have that highest vibration, isn't it? How do we get to know that these are the places are to be identified which has the high vibes? Will the astral masters or someone will tell us, or how do we get to know these places usually? Any idea?
Yeah, in this case, it's a direct download of message from Kumeka, the author's spiritual guide, directly given by the person to Diana, really. Direct message, really. So that I did have that question. It's a really good question. How do we know? That I mean, to me, I think one answer is these books are actually meant for the world. So this is probably one way we know. And the other way could be, trying to establish that connection. But whether we can all connect to the same source and all that, it may be, it may be slightly a much more complex one. But I think, if we all believe in this one, if we believe in it, it's there. Some tests, I think, can be done, by going to that place and meditating and feeling whether the energy is high or not. I think, no, I'm equally curious, Meenaji. Yeah, no, it's a really good question.
Yeah, thank you. Wonderful sharing. So everything looks like everything what is happening around us has a reason. Even the COVID, even the floods, even the
Yeah,
feminine, whatever it is happening, the natural calamities, there is a reason behind it. Yeah, thank you.
yeah,
Wonderful sharing. I would like
sure.
to
Yeah,
read this
I
book.
think,
I haven't read it.
sure. Just want to add one more point now that you reminded me, with natural calamities as well. And in the book, the author says, Pakistan brought forward some of the cleansing, which was supposed to be done in 27, which originally scheduled in 2017. But Pakistan's soul, nobody at a physical level, no politicians and all that, but at a soul level, Pakistan was able to bring forward an event, and that massive floods happened in 2010 apparently. So there was a that was a soul level decision for the land. That is a land taking responsibility, if you like.
Yeah, thank you. And we can see now Pakistan also everyone meditating now with the
Slowly,
PSSM.
yes, they're getting on track. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vinod. Wonderful, crisp and clear. So nicely presented. Thank you. Very interesting facts. And yeah, good to know a lot of facts, that is already happening. Some of them are already manifesting. You spoke about Russia, Afghanistan, China. Yeah, very interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, and this book was written in 2011. So,
2011,
yeah,
yeah.
very.
Yeah. 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 Did you cover any other things, the incidents that did you cover everything? Like, I mean, whatever you shared, it's already happened. Like, for example, Russia, Afghanistan, China. I mean, in the span of last 10 years,
Hmm.
all these things have happened. Russia is currently ongoing, right? So, are there any other events that author mentioned?
I think there are so many, because the author goes into various depths of on each country, each continent. I think the author also said, what significant floods in Australia. I think in 2011. I think just after writing this book, I think that also happened. So yeah, Australia floods was probably a much more significant one. Yeah.
Understood. Yeah. And one good point is like because it went into everyone's brains like about the corona COVID that it is because of China, but it
Yeah.
is not really. I mean, when we see on the physical level, we see like that and we blame China, but it is
Yeah.
one of the instant that is happening for the purpose of cleansing.
Correct.
So I think that is a kind of um, a myth buster or, breaking the belief. Yeah, that's very good point. Thank you.
Thank you. I was in that sort of ignorant state maybe 2 years ago. I was one of those people, but yeah,
Yeah,
now it makes
given
sense.
given the disputes that happening between India and China, even with the spiritual knowledge also people will blame China, right? So that is, but yeah, we should think on the soul level, not on the physical level. That is more important. And when we speak about oneness in meditation, we are all one. So we
Correct.
should yeah, I think we should cultivate that kind of heart where we see everyone as equal and everyone is a soul.
Definitely,
Very true.
master. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Is there anything mentioned about Ukraine as well?
Ukraine, no. The author covered Russia and Mongolia as one big entity.
Okay.
Did not go into Ukraine, no.
Thank you.
And this thing, I think we should not be proud of our tradition or culture or religion, because as we say, like, everyone is equal, and everyone is like on the soul level. Yeah, so I think we should embrace that, all the cultures, all the traditions, not to stick to one thing when it comes to learning. So I
Good point,
guess
Master.
I
Agree.
guess we should embrace everything. Yeah, everything,
Absolutely.
every culture, every wisdom.
Yes.
Hi, Master. Wonderful session.
Thank you.
Really amazing facts, really. So the Glastonbury Heart Chakra, I come to know
Yeah.
3-4 years ago. I've been there luckily and meditated at the Thor Hill. So that is really amazing. And these energies, as London also there, which I don't know. London is one of them. And
Did
yeah,
you
it
feel anything special there, Rajshekhar Master, at Glastonbury?
You say Glastonbury, yes, it's very peaceful, and to my surprise, there are a lot of spiritual shops. It's like a heaven. It's totally different. It's the high street is usually we think that we get some grocery shops and all, but the high street is full of spiritual shops. I
Okay.
totally and there are some Buddhist meditation centers, and
Right.
it's all very in the center of the town, and there is a Thor hill which is spiritual significance. It is very beautiful, definitely, and there are some places very like gardens which are very beautiful. They may
Nice.
very well managed, and definitely meditative. Definitely we should meditate again.
Yeah.
We can plan. Yeah.
Certainly. Yeah. Yes.
So
That's good.
So I would like to share one video of Sadhguru. I think the very important point what you shared is on the planet consciousness. So I'll wait for anybody's comments and I'll share. It will take 8 to 10 minutes video. I'll wait for a few more. Anybody want to talk?
Okay, Master. Thank you. Yeah, maybe we can share in the group's video. But yeah, one thing on the Glastonbury, when we went, I mean, even I was there. We went with Pradeep, Crystal Pradeep there.
Oh, nice.
So when I meditated, it was very peaceful, and I saw angels in meditation. I mean, there was one kind of a setup, some kind of a monument on the top of the mountain. And there was some space to sit and meditate. So I see angels with wings coming from the heaven onto the earth. So that was a very beautiful vision that I have got. One of the beautiful visions. It was amazing energies over there.
Excellent. Really
Particularly on that mountain. On the streets I did not feel much, but on that mountain I have felt a lot. Yeah, even though there are so many centers and everything, but the mountain was with good energies, great energies.
Excellent. Now you all suddenly inspired me to go there. Thank you.
Namaste, Vinodji. Shri here.
Hi. Hello.
Hello. Namaste. I'm good. Sorry, I'm driving, so it might disconnect
no
a bit.
problem.
But thank you. Amazing. I mean, I've never heard of this book or the author, but thank you for bringing that to us. I think for me, one thing that I have taken from this session is the elimination of fear. And that fear wasn't for me, but it was for the next generation, like for my kids and who follows after them.
Yeah.
That where is this world leading to? With all these calamities, the wars.
Yeah.
Is this the right time to for the humans to really survive? And there were so many questions, and your session has just put all of that to a perspective to say, everything is happening fine, everything will be okay, even though I meditate and all. And that fear, as I said, isn't for me, but it's just that next generation and all, like what's going to happen to them. And I'm blessed to have listened to this today, and I will definitely get the book and read it myself as well. So thank you for inspiring. Thank you so much.
Thank you for asking that question, Sri. You said next generation, and again, like I said earlier, I think many of the next generations that we are talking about, they are probably from higher realms themselves. They are pretty much well equipped with a lot of spiritual technology. I think that they're all here for a reason. They're certainly not here to to be succumbed to fear and all that. Yeah, so that's how I'm reading it.
Sure, beautifully said. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Vinod sir. Yes, it was a wonderful presentation and lots of information about it. You mentioned about like taking the oil and etc. Like it's a karma and etc. And while you were talking about, I was thinking like for the planet Earth, we did so much pollution as well.
Yeah.
And people actually sort of start to realize last 10 to 15 years. I mean, this plastic waste, car pollution, everyone, in 2020 started to, cut down on the polythene. Is like, the bags and etc. is so much happening around the world.
Yes.
And also cleansing the planet Earth is happening as well. Therefore, everything you said in the book and everything predicted in the books, I can't believe it's going to be definitely going to happen, because people are more and more aware of what's going around. Villages, towns, cities, and the continent and the oceans. Everyone is, getting fully aware of what is going around, and we are actually damaging the planet Earth, and people are aware and correcting them. And it's a wonderful. Yes, thank you so much for giving so much information. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for asking that question also. I think just because you said that, it springs to my mind. With COVID, I think generally the travel has come down. The amount of travel, I think, has certainly come down. Many offices are, they're probably down to maybe a few days a week as a face-to-face office, or otherwise they're all working virtually. That has certainly cut down a lot of unnecessary travel. So
Sure.
some certainly good things happening.
Yeah, certainly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Masters, I did not cover the US as such, because there is individual forecast for all the 50 or so states. So I did not go into that level of detail. Sorry, there was a question from somebody.
You shared a Bermuda Triangle, right? That's next to Hawaii.
Yes. There's one in Hawaii as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
Nice.
I was just asking Rajashekar to if he wants to share the video,
perfect.
because people may drop off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me stop sharing then.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Let me share my screen. I found this very important to consciously look at everybody, all the masters now. So that's why I'm sharing rather link.
Sorry, Rachika, the sound isn't coming properly.
Your voice is not clear.
Let me do it again. I think let me is it share screen, share sound? Yeah, got it.
Thrive. Once there is no richness in soil, then you have forsaken the planet in many ways. Every responsible scientist in the world and the UN agencies are clearly saying we have only 80 to 100 harvests left. That means approximately 45 to 50 years of agricultural soil left on the planet. By 2045, we will be producing 40% less food than what we are producing right now, and our populations will be 9.3 billion people. Civil wars will unfold across the world once there is food shortage. What we are facing now is soil extinction. Agricultural soils across the world, the depletion is so heavy. In most countries, more than 50% of the topsoil is already gone in the last 100 years. First 12 to 15 inches of topsoil is the basis of our existence. It is this magic beneath our feet which has produced the life that we are. This first 12 to 15 inches of soil is the basis of life for 87% of life on this planet, including you and me. Conscious Planet is launching Save Soil movement to bring about a policy change to regenerate soil. As a part of this, I'm 65 and I'm riding 30,000 kilometers, a lone motorcycle journey, 30,000 kilometers across 24 nations to activate support from the citizenry to assure the governments long-term investments will be appreciated. So it's extremely important that soil regeneration is enshrined in the policy of every government on the planet. From 21st of March for 100 days, the whole world, every human being on the planet should talk soil. Each one of you should reach as many people as you can, be a part of this and let us make it happen.
Soil is one of the most fascinating and little understood aspects of our planet. Soil is not just some dirt that we walk on. Did you know that a handful of soil has more microbes in it than there are people on the entire earth? Without these microbes, plants, animals, you, me, and every human being would not be able to live. That's because if plants have to grow, they need to get various nutrients from the soil. But plants are not capable of getting many of these nutrients from the soil on their own. It is those billions of microbes that capture these nutrients from the soil and pass them on to the plant's roots. So plants can live only if there are lots of microbes in the soil. And animals and human beings can live only if there are plants to provide us food. But around the world, a disaster is happening. The soil microbes are dying. This is happening because the microbes need organic matter to eat. Organic matter means the leaves and the branches that fall to the ground from the plants, and also the waste from the animals. But because there are no more animals on farms, and all the stuff falling from plants is cleared away by farmers. Microbes have nothing to eat, so they die. Because of this, plants are not able to grow well. And if plants suffer, we are next. So having enough organic matter in the world's soil is super important if we want to live well. This is what the Save Soil movement is all about. We are asking our governments to save soil by putting enough organic matter into the soil. Then the microbes, plants, animals, human beings, and all life can live well on the rich soil.
You started Conscious Planet to protect soil. Could you please share the guidelines for the students to be a part of this?
So how can you participate? See, we are living in a democratic nation. Most part of the world, almost the entire world except a few nations, are all living in democratically elected governments ruling those countries. So being a democratic nation, the most valuable thing that you have is your vote and your voice. You still don't have a vote, but you still have a voice. In a democracy, the most important thing is a people's voice. So I want you to use your voice. The soil is not our property. It's been given to us like this from previous generations. We have to give it in a living condition to the next generation. We cannot kill it and give it dead soil. Dead soil means all life is gone. So leaving the soil alive for future generations is very important. When I say future generation, I'm talking about you. Every responsible scientist in the world is saying, by 2045, we will be producing 40% less food than what we are producing today, and our population will be 9.3 billion people. So with 40% less food, that many people, it's not a world where you want to live. I want you to visualize this. Whatever is looking like civilization, all the developments that have happened in the world, I want you to imagine tomorrow, let us say there is no food in Coimbatore city for people to eat. There is no food in the shop, there is no food in the hotel, there is no food in the home. What do you think will happen? Everything will break down in the society. Right now, United Nations agencies are predicting civil wars across the world by 2045, because food shortages will be like that. But we can turn this around now. So what is it that you can do? You must use your voice. How to use your voice? Shall we go there and shout? That's not it. You must use your voice in a way it'll be heard. I want you to take this up. I want 10 million children below 16, 17 years of age to write to the Prime Minister that please save our soil, because what we are using up is your soil. For our generation, before we die, there is enough. All we have to do is maybe die 10 years early, we will be fine. But your soil is being used up. Soil that your generation should use is already being used up. If that happens, no matter how educated you are, how rich you are, how much wealth you have, how much knowledge you have, everything will be useless once there is food shortage. So, will you take this up? Not just you write, you must get me 10 million children in India to write to the Prime Minister, please do something about our soil. Can you? Yes. 10 million letters must go to the Prime Minister. Of course he's going to call me and complain. What am I supposed to do with all these letters? Enrich the soil. Paper can enrich the soil too, but I'm saying strong soil policies, if they don't come now, the future generations will suffer immensely, immensely. Not just humans, every life. If we don't do anything for another 30 to 40 years and then we attempt it, turning it around will take 150 to 200 years. Right now, if we start, in another 15 to 25 years, we can turn this around significantly. I think we should make it happen. It's for you, for for your generation. If you want to live well on this planet, this is most vital. Let us make it happen. Yeah, that's all it takes.
Thanks for listening. I just want to share that microbes concept, which I didn't know, that how we are living, right? So how the farming is happening nowadays. So they are using the machinery, which digs like 1 meter or so, which kills, which causes this kind of depletion even far. So I wasn't caring all this, but after looking at this and listening to Vinod's sir's message and the book also written in 2011, which I am not conscious about. I think as a conscious beings, we all on this call and listening in the YouTube. So we need to work on this project as well. So that's what I just want to add. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Master, for sharing this video also. Yeah, it is very relevant. I did not pay this much of attention, I think, to this one. Although I recently saw a video saying, one orange back in 1935, whatever nutrients it was giving, I think we need 8 oranges in today's time. That's again this was mentioned by Sadhguru himself. So and he asked the question, how many people are eating 8 oranges? So already a lot of depletion of nutrients has happened. And I think it is high time to if we don't take action now. It's a really good point. Very good point raised at the right time. Thank you, Master.
Exactly. So that 8 oranges we have to take for a C vitamin. Now everybody are depending on the supplements. See, if I see in the supplements in how many I'm using. So we are already seeing that problem. We are not noticing, but we are already facing. So probably, we have to meditate upon that and see.
But a lot of divine help is also available. That's again, just a little bit of reassurance. It is not all about fight alone. A lot of support is available from a spiritual angle.
I think also you just have to be careful about your belief system on what we're getting from the planet, what we're getting from an orange, because there are a lot of friends I have who are breatharian and they're not eating anything, and so we also have that as a possibility. So just watch the thoughts you think and how you're creating your reality, because there's always more choice. Thank you.
Thank you for mentioning breatharians. Actually, it's a very valid point. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinod, sir. That's a wonderful book. Thank you for the wisdom. I just wanted to share a little bit on consciousness. Dr. Bruce Lipton talks a lot about consciousness, and I've been fortunate enough to be on the panel with him, spoken to him a couple of times. And what he says is the earth is going into extinction purely because of the thoughts, the kind of fear that we are emitting. We all live in this field called the morphogenic field, or the quantum energy field, where we're constantly communicating or passing information through our thoughts, because thoughts are vibrating in the universe. So what he says is we all have to raise a vibration. How do we do that? We raise it through spreading love, gratitude, and joy. So I think as spirit masters, we have that opportunity to reach out to many people in the world, to teach them meditation, because many people are suffering with mental health issues. So I have reached out to a lady in Pakistan asking her, can I teach a community meditation? Because it's great for everything, really, infinite benefits. So she was able to buy into my idea, and she was very pleased. And I mean, I was a bit hesitant to reach out to somebody in Pakistan, but she was very much happy. She said, I love to listen to you. I think you sound very much like B.K. Shivani. So she said, yes, I will help you. I can, introduce you to my community. You can teach them meditation. And likewise, I reached to somebody in Uganda. I told, because there's a lot of poverty. That's really something that we can't imagine. And there's a lot of teenagers and adults suffering with depression, purely because there is I do believe that there is a reason why they need to be depressed of the resources that's not available. So I'm going to teach them meditation from today. So, that's something which I'm taking a step ahead to go and teach I'm reaching out to the leading women in the world, where we can reach out. A simple technique of breath, mindfulness, meditation will really shift the consciousness, their thinking, because, you're calming your mind so that, you're raising your vibration and you're spreading that love, joy, and happiness. So I think, like you mentioned in the book, I think as we all come together, that consciousness, the evolution is definitely very much possible.
Thank you, Master. And I think that's a brilliant initiative. You're reaching out to wider, horizons. Pakistan, Uganda, absolutely brilliant. Thank you for doing
Morocco, yeah.
Excellent.
I'm in the process, taking one step at a time. Yes.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you.
Well, time managed session, Vinodji. So you finished on time, so it's 40 minutes exactly.
No, that's how. Thanks to Meena Master. She gave me correct strict instructions.
Yeah. I think she has to run now for something else urgent. But yeah, thanks all for being here. And any more message, Master, or shall we?
I think global consciousness is the only point I wanted to mention. That's it, Master. No, thank you everybody for joining in, asking very, very valuable questions. It was a really good discussion. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Thank you.
Thank you, friends. Thanks all, and thank you, Vinod Master, and have a nice day. Yeah.